Good morning, Schlog fans. Welcome to Schlog number 60. Can't believe we're already at number 60. That's a lot of Schlogs. I hope you guys have been enjoying them as much as I have been making them. Man, I've been having a really good time with this whole process, and it seems like you guys have been responding well. Everybody seems to be super stoked on it. Definitely make sure you comment below if you have any questions, thumbs ups, whatever, guys. It means a lot to hear from you. I like having conversations with you. It's awesome. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you think that we are doing a great job with these and you like what we're doing and you want to support us, click that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm to get us moved up. The more subscribers we get, the more thumbs up we get, the more gospel of two wheels we can spread. So yeah, anyway, today is Tuesday and we are going into the week. We got lots and lots of work to do. It's still a shutdown situation for the whole COVID-19 thing, but Highland Cycles is still operating business as usual because we got a lot of work to do. People need their machines and we need to provide them with that. So I'm going about life as normal. My wife is not. She is working from home, which is good that she can still work. But my kids are also home, so that's interesting. I laugh because, you know, it's craziness. And fortunately, my wife has a great job with the Forest Service, and, you know, she can get her work done. It's all working out, but it is kind of funny. So, yeah, life is crazy. Dirt bikes seem to be rocking and rolling, though. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing today. I know what we're doing today. We're going to be putting a top end in a 350 Husqvarna. I think I got all the parts and everything in stock, ready to rock and roll. So, going to be putting a piston and cam chain into a newer 350 Husky today, and maybe servicing some suspension if we get through that. But we'll see how it goes, see how busy we are. Without further ado, let's get on with the daily Schlog. So that's awesome. I left my shop keys at the house. Not the start of a good day. Not awesome. So I'm gonna go back, get those, then we'll get on with the daily Schlog. All right, guys. So it's now 1 o'clock, and I'm finally getting to work. It's been nuts. Lots and lots of people coming in, ordering parts. Guys, thank you, guys. Online who have been ordering from me. I really appreciate it. Jimmy Neihart just ordered a bunch of parts for his 350. Red Westfall. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. It really does make a huge difference for us. So yeah, I can't possibly say thank you enough. Zach is over there servicing a nice clean WR250. He's got another one to do right after that. I am now working on the 350 EXC top end, which is just preventative maintenance. Proud of this gentleman for doing that. But it is an EXC, and I honestly forgot how many wires and hoses were on EXCs. Just like, there's stuff stinking everywhere. Getting the motor mounts off, you know, right in here, was one of the most ridiculous jobs I've done in a long time. So now I'm loosening up the subframe, gonna get the exhaust off, get everything apart, and then I'll check back in with you guys when I actually get down to the motor. I'll show you a little bit more of that. I have a video on doing a top end on one of these. I'll put a card right up here. You guys want to check that out? I'll just give you the highlights today. Anything interesting that happens, I'll definitely show you. But yeah, it's craziness here in Montrose, Colorado. Hey guys, all right, so we got the 350 apart. Let me just have just like a little bit of story time here about the kind of the difference between this and a lot of other four strokes. One thing is the clutch is the diaphragm damper spring, like in the last video where we were putting a recluse into that 300. So it's got this damper, like big diaphragm spring. It's like a cupped washer that puts even pressure onto the clutch pack when it's engaged. So that's different. But honestly, the biggest difference between this and like a Japanese 4-stroke is that the cam chain is over here on this side instead of the left side. I don't really know why KTM does that, because honestly, it just makes everything harder to deal with. There's probably a reason. Comment below if you know why KTM puts the cam chain on the right-hand side of the motor, not the left-hand side of the motor. Because honestly, it's just really a pain in the butt. Because it, yeah, you gotta take the whole clutch cover off, drain all the oil and everything. You gotta take the nut off the crank here, or yeah, take the nut off the crank, pull that gear off to get the water pump drive off, to then get the cam chain off, put the new cam chain on, put it all back together. Whereas on a Japanese one, it's over here on the left side, and it's super easy to get to, and everything comes apart really easily. So, not sure why they do that, but there it is. Take a look here. These are just kind of interesting things about this motor. Cool things, really, most of it. I don't like the cam chain thing, but everything else about this motor is pretty cool. Let's see if we can get the piston up here. There we go. 1 second. Highland Cycles, is Morgan. Alright, so sorry about the phone call. So, take a look in here. That's all there is to a modern 4-stroke piston. I like to call them ring holders, because that's really all they are. They barely have any tiny little skirt. You can see it's pretty worn. You're going to have to take a really good look at the cylinder, make sure it's okay. But there's an interesting thing that you don't see on Japanese bikes. That is a little oil jet that sprays oil up underneath the piston onto this top end of the connecting rod. And probably one of the reasons that these motors last so long is there's lots of oil moving around. So that's really cool. All right, now let's talk about the head and some of the differences between this and a modern Japanese head. So 4 valves, so they're pretty much all 4 valve now. I don't think there's anything left that's any more or less than that. Yamaha used to be 5 valve, but in 2010 they changed to 4, so they're all pretty much that. You got intakes and exhausts, and one of the big differences between KTM's and all the others is the KTM's use these little follower guys to sit on top of the shim. So when you hear someone talk about re-shimming their valves or adjusting valves, this right there is the shim they're talking about. So on a Japanese bike, there's a bucket that slides over this. You know, this is the keeper, this is the valve spring, the valve is down in there. There's a bucket that slides over that, and the shim is under the bucket. They call that a shim under bucket. I know, fancy name. Style motor instead of a shim over bucket, which is street bikes still. Some of the older style street bikes still have that style. But KTM, instead of using the buckets, they use these little followers to help keep the shims in place. They seem to do a really good job. They work good. They're relatively easy to change, adjust valves. You just pull that up out of the way, pull the shim out, measure whatever you got to do, put it back in. So there is what the underneath side of the head looks like. These valves are pretty good. It looks like everything's okay. We're going to take them all out, put new seals and everything in, so we'll have a really good look at the valves, make sure everything's good. So yeah, and then here's our cylinder. We're going to take a really good look at that. It looks like it's actually okay. Still got crosshatch in most of it, so I think we're going to be all right. Cams really aren't too different. Their mechanism for decompression is pretty cool. So this is the auto decompression. So when it's slow, when the motor's turning over slowly, this little bump is on one of the exhaust valves, and when it comes around, it holds the valve open just a little bit to help decompress the motor and let you let it spin easier. Then as the RPMs come up, this weight swings out, and you can see that goes flat, so it's just like the rest of the cam lobe, full compression, bike runs good. I like KTM's auto decompression system. It tends to work really well and not have too many problems, so that's awesome. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that right now. If you guys have any questions, make sure you comment below. I'd be happy to answer any kind of questions you got. I'm gonna go about putting this thing back together. I gotta take the piston off, clean the cylinder up, put valve seals in, stuff like that. If I find something super interesting, I'll definitely bring you guys in. Otherwise, we'll be running here hopefully pretty soon. All right, so I got the head stripped and everything pulled out. Just want to share a quick tech tip. So if you're just doing a maintenance top end and you're not actually changing valves or doing like any seat cutting or anything like that, what I like to do is, I've got the head sitting here like this, intake on the side, exhaust on this side. Just take an old rag, doesn't have to be fancy anything, but I for intake, E for exhaust, and line up your parts that way. So your shims are where they need to be, keepers, everything, so that when you go back together, since the valve clearance was fine on this bike, I did check it, I forgot to show you guys that, but anyway, I got another video on doing valve adjustments on these things. I'll try to remember to, I will try to remember to put a card up here. If I don't, you guys can hunt around for it, and I'll probably do another one in the future anyway. But so the valves all checked out good, so hopefully if all I'm doing is putting new seals on and putting it all back together, they should stay the same, and so I should be able to, like I said, use the shims for the correct ones, and should make this thing go a lot faster. So yeah, so head looks good. Gonna clean that up a bunch, obviously, but actually it doesn't look too bad. It's just kind of carbony a little bit, but get that sorted out, and then we'll put it all back together and get this thing running. You actually take one of those that's low and run some of that through, and then water. Well, guys, so I got something to show you. So Zach is working on this WR, just in for service, get ready for the season. This guy he's got two matching ones, brings them in every year, get them ready to go. And Zach, part of the full service is checking the coolant and making sure everything's good, and he did, and he's like, hey, what should I top this thing off with? The coolant doesn't look that good. I was like, let's see, what does it look like? But it didn't look good from the top, it's kind of hard to tell. I'm like, let's just drain it and flush it and put new coolant in, and no joke, that it's what came out. So yeah, we're gonna fix that. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what that is. Like, let's see what happens when he pours this in. I'm currently waiting. I'm cooking the head, the cylinder for the 350, get it all cleaned up after bead blasting it and getting the valve, everything all shiny and happy. And now we got to find out what else comes out of this body. Like, there's the drain hole. That's not awesome. There it comes. Clearing up a little bit, that's good. That has at least a little bit of a green tint to it. So we'll fill that up with normal coolant, run it, and see. Might do that a couple times and then fill it. So the things you find in motorcycles these days. Alright guys, so got the cylinder slid over the piston. It's not all the way down yet because I got to get this thing out of the way. I just want to get that kind of closed up so nothing could fall down in. So we got to take this off, and KTM was kind enough to right there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says left. That means it's left-hand thread. A little FYI, the main crank gear, the main crank nut is left-hand thread. So the nice thing is, since they tell you that, you don't have to guess, you can set your impact to go the correct way, and then it'd be good. All right. All right, use the same trick we do on the recluse. Push in on this, act as a holder, spin that sucker right off. All right, on these gears, you got to pay attention. See, there's two little marks right there. These are timing marks so that you get the counterbalance timed correctly. So this weight right there on the bottom of that gear is part of the counterbalancer. You want this to be lined up. So with that, so there's a dot there. That dot has to go between these two. And then this, see this shaft, you can see, or this gear has a little bit different spline situation there that goes right there on this shaft. So that's all got to get lined up, otherwise you'll have this thing shaking like crazy. All right, so I just rotated that around to make sure that that all lines up. You see how those go? So we're all good. Now we can put this whole thing back together. We'll put the left-hand threaded guy on here first. Oh man, awesome day, guys. I know the Schlag wasn't super in-depth on anything, but we did get the motor all back together, new cam chain, clutch cover back on, pistons in, cylinders on, head is built, so head is ready to go. Got valves all in there. I got to slap the cams in and just check clearances again to make sure, but that should be good to go. We'll slap that sucker back on here, yeah, we should be ready to rock and roll. Super stoked about how that went. It went very well. The motor all looks great, just like we thought it would. Zach finished up two WR250Fs, although one ended up having a coolant leak. That one with the gnarly black stuff. One of the hoses was torn, so we got to wait on that. But otherwise, it's ready to go. Yeah, and then we just got a ton of work. We got to work on this 1090 adventure here soon, so stay tuned for that. That's gonna be awesome. Make sure you subscribe if you want to watch us work on that. What else are we going to be working on here real soon? That little AC/DC CR85. We got a YZ250. Doing full suspension service on an FX350 here real soon, next couple days, maybe tomorrow even. So yeah, things are going good, guys. Hey, I just want to say thank you to Jimmy Neihart and Red Westfall specifically today. I want to thank every one of you, all my patrons, Paul Ansey, Garrett Anderson, Mike. You guys are awesome. But yeah, I just thank you guys. You're awesome. I really appreciate it. You guys are just amazing. Everybody who gives me the super chats when we do our live thing, I love you guys. You're awesome. These are trying times, and I feel nothing but love from you guys. So thank you so much for that. If you like what we're doing and you haven't subscribed yet, I just ask that you do. Also, if you get a chance and you're subscribed and you're a super dude big supporter and all that, share this stuff with your friends. Tell them to subscribe, because I want to grow this channel huge, so that no matter what times are going on, what hardships, all that stuff, we're rocking and rolling, and we can spread the gospel of two wheels, because I think motorcycles give people hope. They give people something to do, something to focus on, something constructive, something awesome. So that's what we're trying to do here, guys. I love you. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and seriously, it's like really nice. I think it was almost 70 today, so it's time to go ride your dirt bikes!